Well, hi guys, it's that time. It's our Bible teaching snippet of the day. Well, today I'm going to talk to you really about a conversation that I had with a good friend of mine over the telephone. And some of the things we talked about, we were on the phone for probably an hour talking about lots of different things. But one of the things that we talk about a lot is about our health and other people's health and healing and what's biblical and what's not biblical and all of these things, because what she and I have discovered over time is that it's not just putting the burden 100% on God to keep us well. It's not 100% putting the burden on prescription medicines and doctors to keep us well. Did you know the first place we're supposed to start is responsibility of our own choices and our own actions? And I know before I even go any further, there's going to be people that hit the stop button because they don't want to hear the truth, okay? And I'm telling you, the Bible teaches that, okay? Scripture teaches that, okay? But they would rather not have to see the truth, and they can stay in denial, and they can be dependent on the drugs and prescriptions and doctors and not take responsibility, or they can just chase healing around instead of coming to a knowledge of truth and walking in health, instead of turning to the sick care system called prescription medicine. Now, for me to get started today, I already know this is going to get voted as the least favorite teaching done by the vegan Bible teacher, okay? Because I truly believe God's very best for every single human being is found in the very front of your Bible in Genesis chapter 1, verse 29, where God says to eat from the plants, eat what's grown out of the ground from trees and plants, okay? And He never changed that, by the way. Mankind changed that, and He had to adjust the plan according to our own lustful desires to eat the flesh of animals. And I've done a long teaching on that. I put forth a challenge for people to go plant-based just for 10 days. I called it the Daniel 10-day challenge, to cut out all animal meat and all animal byproducts, milk, eggs, cheese, all of that, out of all the food you eat, and let your body tell you how it feels about that. I've got hundreds of testimonies, okay? So what I have learned over the 14 years of being in Christianity, okay, and specifically being a Bible teacher for the last 12 years or so, and then I've been operating in the healing ministry for 10 years. Yes, I've seen 3,000 or more people healed of different sicknesses and diseases. I've seen 6 people raised from the dead, okay? So what I started studying is why people don't get healed, why some people do get healed, some people don't stay healed. And God started teaching me truths that's actually found in our Bibles, but we don't want to talk about those truths because it bears some responsibility for us. Okay, so what I want to talk about today, I had somebody, and my friend Heather and I was on the phone yesterday, and this subject about going to doctors, and you know, this is where our conversation led me to do this teaching today. Is it wrong for people to go to doctors? Is it wrong for a Christian to go to a doctor? Should Christians avoid going to doctors, even if they're having body symptoms of issues, and we're going to walk by faith and be blind to what's going on in our body? We're just going to, you know, pretend like everything's okay. In fact, I hear Christians who are sick. They can't hardly even get out of bed. They're overweight. Their faces are swollen and red, and they get behind pulpits and pound their Bibles saying that they walk in health. My friends, when people limp when they walk, their faces are swollen, they're red all over, their eyes are bloodshot, and they can't hardly talk without coughing or clearing their throat, I would suggest to you that maybe they're claiming to walk in health, okay? So they're walking by faith, not by sight. But what they're really doing is not being honest with themselves that there's something going wrong in their body, and they need to address the issue before it explodes and causes a major problem. Did you know before someone has a heart attack, there are so many signs of that we ignore, okay? Or we go to the doctor and get a prescription to hide the symptom so we don't know what's going on. And then all of a sudden we have a stroke or a heart attack and we're in an emergency room trying to get someone to save our lives, okay? And look, I'm not trying to be mean to anybody. I want to talk to you one-on-one today about common sense approach to your health, your responsibility to your own body, and to God for your body, and us walk in health and not try to keep sickness. Did you know most of the doctors today, because they've given up on people wanting to participate in their own lifestyle and health, they have given in to writing prescriptions, which is nothing more than sick care. Taking care of sick people to get them to the next prescription and the next pill. Let me just show you this. I printed this off. I remember years ago, and nowadays all of the lights on the dashboard aren't necessarily red, but in my younger years when I was 16, 18 years old, you'd have a dashboard lights at the bottom, and if they lit up, that meant something was wrong under the hood. Something's going on in that vehicle and you better fix it or you're going to have to be towed in to a repair shop, okay? And depending on when you actually respond to that blinking light, it might depend on how much you spend on fixing your vehicle and if it can be fixed, okay? Let me show you this. I printed this off for you. Did you know going to a doctor to get a prescription so you can't hear your body talking to you saying, look, you're putting something in me that I can't handle anymore. We go to a doctor and we get a prescription. And that doctor, this is a prescription pad. It's called black electrical tape. He takes and hands you a prescription and you go and fill that prescription. And what you're doing basically is you're covering up that blinking light. And now we don't know, do we? Because we don't see the light blinking, we don't feel the side effects or the symptoms, I should say, the symptoms of what is going on in our body. So we get going down the street a little further. Well, within 6 months or a year of taking that prescription, guess what? You got another blinking light because the first blinking light never was fixed, it was just covered up. So we'll just put another little black piece of tape over there, and now you don't know that's going on. And they keep adding little pieces of electrical tape or prescriptions until you, and sometimes one prescription isn't enough because it didn't cover it up real good, so they got to give you a second prescription for that same problem. And now you can't see the blinking light, can you? And they keep giving you these prescriptions until finally all of the blinking lights are covered up. And you can just not take responsibility for your health, and you can just keep doing whatever horrible lifestyle choices, whether it's overeating, eating all the wrong foods, not exercising, whatever that problem is, you don't have to face it, right? And did you know that the average person in America, okay, so there's some that take 0, some that take more. The average is between 7 and 8 prescriptions per American. That includes children, adults, the elderly, all added up, divided, and it all comes out to about 8 prescriptions per American. Okay, so we're doing something wrong, no doubt about it. So I want to talk to you, is it wrong to go to the doctor? And my answer is yes and no. Did you know if you're going to a doctor for the wrong motive and the wrong reason, then you are going to the wrong, you should not be going to a doctor so he can give you a prescription to cover up your blinking lights and you can go about continuing to make bad lifestyle choices. So if we're going so a doctor can enable us not to make necessarily life course changes, then we are going to the doctor for the wrong reason. And so no, really it's not wrong to go to a doctor if we're going to a doctor to get advice and guidance and understand why we're experiencing the certain symptoms in our body, and for them to help us understand how to address those issues, like a diet change, exercise, ways to remove stress out of our lives, and etc. Things like that. So it's not wrong to go and seek someone to help you change your life so that you can walk in health, okay? Now, they're called natural doctors, nutritionists, and holistic doctors. A holistic doctor is not going to write you a handful of prescriptions so you can keep overeating at the Sunday buffet and have 8 plates of food and have everything in your body going wrong and be overweight. A holistic doctor is going to sit you down and talk to you about lifestyle choices because they're going to look at your body as a whole. Holistic basically means to see the whole body as a system and rather than separate parts, okay? It's kind of like a diabetic trying not to feel the symptoms of their body not making enough insulin, so we force our body to ignore the fact that we've got a problem, right? And here's even an easier one here for you, okay? Gout. You know, people will go to the doctor for gout and they'll give them an inflammatory medicine to decrease the swelling. That's not getting to the root of the problem. That's just getting you to where you can put your shoes on and walk around maybe, right? But the root cause is a lot of times processed food, and gout and inflammation is really more rooted in a liver malfunction of all of the chemicals and toxins that's in your liver. So see, a holistic doctor would want you to do a purge out of your liver, clean your body up, clean the whole system up, and change so you don't keep putting those toxins in. I pray that makes sense. So here I'm going to go ahead, I guess, and go a little bit long today because I want to talk to you a little more about should Christians avoid doctors? And I don't think Christians should avoid all doctors. I think Christians should avoid going to doctors for the wrong reason, which is to get prescriptions so we don't have to change our lifestyle and take responsibility for our own health. And I'm going to go a little further with this too. We can run off in a ditch to where we tell people not to go to a doctor to find out what's going on with them, and they literally die of a heart attack or a stroke or something, and because we've told them to walk by faith or just pray about it. And here's the thing, another place we run off in a ditch. I see a lot of healing ministers, okay, and I too am a healing minister. I minister healing to a lot of people, and they will not go to a doctor themselves because they don't want to have to admit that they have high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, or anything. So if they're undiagnosed, they can claim that they walk in health. And see, that's not dealing honestly with themselves and the people that they teach either. Okay, guys? I'm just being fair about this. You know, I can go to a doctor. In fact, I'm going in for a physical next month. I have no problem going to a doctor because I know that I take responsibility for what I put in my body. I know that I am living according to what God told us to live, Genesis 1:29, and I do not have high blood pressure. I do not have high cholesterol. I don't have any issues, and I actually want to go to a doctor so I can prove to people that what I'm doing is worthy of you listening to and maybe even trying it and living a plant-based lifestyle. Why? Because I love you and I want you to walk in health. I don't want you chasing healing from one ministry to another ministry, trying to find that right person that can lay hands on you to get you healed so you can go eat 8 more plates of food over at the buffet that's all unhealthy food, okay? I pray that I'm not being too rough with you today, but I hope that I'm opening your mind and your heart to receive the full counsel of God and full truth. There should be no healing minister that tries to hide from or not go to a doctor claiming that whatever a doctor says doesn't mean anything to them. They should be willing to go and say, here's my report, and this is proof that I actually do walk in health. To me, that makes total common sense. And I'm going to finish this video. I'm going the full 15 minutes today because I don't want to break this down into 3 or 4 different little teachings. I want to talk about this book. This was highly recommended to me by a healing ministry, and I bought the book, or someone sent it to me, and she basically runs straight off the cliff, not in a ditch, straight off the cliff, and says that doctors are evil, and that basically God doesn't heal people because you're trusting somebody else other than Him. And guys, you just don't, there are some good things in there, things that I've already studied. There are some truths in here, But I'm telling you, this was one of the worst books I've ever read when it comes to being balanced, when it comes to walking in health. All right, let me close here. We are not chasing healing. We should be walking in health. And to do that, we're going to have to take responsibility for our own choices and our own lifestyle. Not run to daddy every time we ruin our health and beg somebody to lay hands on me to heal me. I pray that you understand what I'm saying. Healing is real. I've seen lots of healing. But one of the reasons people don't stay healed is because they don't change what caused them to need the black tape called prescription medicines to get them through the day, pain medicines and all of that. And they will run around chasing healing ministries when they should be just making some lifestyle adjustments so that they can walk in unison with their body, with the earth, and with their health. Well, listen, I got to sign off. I love you. I'm headed to town, and you know I'm going to love on a lot of people when I go out today. I'll see you here again. Bye-bye.